What's good, y'all? I'm back again with another vid. Hope y'all doing well and living well. And today I want to talk about momentum, man. You probably heard of momentum before, but I want to break it down with a nice analogy and just allow you to realize that we are constantly rolling. Life is constantly going. Everything's constantly flowing. But which way are you going, right? Are you going down the hill or are you going up the hill? And we'll explain this in the analogy. So let's get into it. So let's think of our lives as a snowball, right? So say your life is a snowball and you're constantly rolling this snowball. All right, for the sake of the analogy, we're rolling the snowball uphill when things aren't going our way, right? So you're constantly rolling this snowball up the hill. And what you start to realize is the more you push it, the harder it gets to push, as well as the more snow collects on your snowball. So that's your life when things aren't going the way you like. So when we continue to go down this path, it obviously gets harder. It's more to carry, and we're working uphill. So obviously, you don't necessarily have no momentum. You're just gathering more stuff, and your load is becoming heavier. So let's say something bad happens to you in your life, and then you're mad that it happens to you. And now you start to attract more bad things that happen to you because of your perspective and your attitude, and they'll keep building on each other until you decide, let me roll the snowball down the hill. Because obviously rolling the snowball up the hill continuously as it's getting bigger is making your life harder, making the easier things you do harder. Everything's becoming harder when you're rolling uphill, especially when your snowball is full of bad events and a negative attitude. And obviously it gets harder to push, and you almost end up becoming stagnant because your snowball is getting too heavy. So with that being said, let's talk about the other side. So I feel like when life is going good, say something good happens to you, and use it as a catalyst to continue to live well, continue to try new things, or use it to motivate you to just accomplish more, whatever it is, right? So this snowball is we're going down the hill, right? So as you continue to roll down the hill, your snowball is obviously collecting, but it's easier to roll down the hill because the snowball's getting heavier. Therefore, it's creating a momentum of itself. So your momentum is essentially creating momentum. So it's important to turn your snowball back down the hill and be aware of what you're doing in the compound of events each day of your life. Because like I said, bad things happen to everybody all the time, but we don't have to continue to roll our snowball up the hill and have to deal with all this negativity and think your life is all terrible just because one event allowed you to go uphill and keep pushing your snowball uphill. But you don't have to continue to add on this. And I feel like some people have a bad event happen to them in their life, and it catapults them into having a bad life and accepting that this is the way that their life is just because of one bad event. But we know just because something happened to you doesn't mean that you have to become it. I feel like a lot of the times when we have traumas or experience something, it becomes who we are. And when you try to roll the snowball back down the hill, it's so hard because you have identified yourself within your struggles. So why would you ever want to let go of your struggles? Because they're a part of you now. So it's important to know which way your snowball is rolling and push it back downhill. Start with just one good thing. Add one thing productive to your routine today, or something that's going to reverse your snowball back down the hill, and just continue to build on that. Like, I feel like we can get overwhelmed when we want to do something good or change our lives, and we see all the steps we have to take to do that, and we end up not doing nothing because we get so overwhelmed with everything we have to do. But I realize a hack to handle that situation is to just take things one step at a time. Life is just a big thing with a bunch of little things in it. So it's important to realize which way your snowball is going. Are you going uphill or going uphill constantly, your life is getting heavier, things are all going bad, so they're going to continue to go bad, and now you have this heavy load to push up push the snowball up the mountain. Or you can realize that, oh, maybe my life isn't going the way that I want it to go. Let me just go ahead and turn around and start pushing the snowball back down the hill. So whatever event that may be, or whatever catalyst you may have, it's important to probably have a trigger and something that you know is going to reverse you from pushing your snowball uphill. And whatever it is to you, whether that be something that helps me is reading a book or making a video. Making a video changes my momentum, and I'm back rolling the snowball down the hill. So find something that you know is going to change your mood, and just continue to build on that and start rolling your snowball back down the hill, because life will keep happening, events will keep happening, and not only the circumstances, but your attitude on those things contribute to the way that your snowball rolls. So if you want to keep pushing up baggage up a hill and it continues to get heavier, then be my guest continuing to push your life down a negative path just because one negative thing happened to you, or somebody did you dirty, or whatever situation it is. You'll come to a point where you realize I'm fighting an uphill battle, as well as my life is getting heavier every day. So I feel like this is a good way to just explain and express the power of momentum, and how your life, like I said, is always flowing. Your snowball is always rolling, but which way is it going? And you probably heard this before. Whatever state of being you are in, you're going to attract more things, more people that resonate with that state of being. So if you're walking around with a negative attitude and you hate the world, don't expect the world to love you back. Expect the world to feed you events that resonate with the way that you feel. So firstly, become aware of how you feel and which way your life is going, and simply take it downhill. Turn around, pushing all this heavy stuff uphill. Like, if you really break it down, it doesn't make sense to continue to push a snowball up a hill, as it gets bigger and harder to push the more you go up the hill. And that's life. When things aren't going good and you choose, let me make things go worse, and accept that things are going bad, and allow that to be your state of being, then you're going to continue to roll uphill, and life will get harder, because that's the perspective that you have. So life is going to bring back the who you are and show you where you've been, and roll you either way. So like I said, which way do you want to roll? Do you want to go downhill and keep adding good things? Like I said, you go downhill, you're still collecting snow, but the heavier it gets, it's easier to roll. So I feel like that's a great analogy and a good way to understand momentum and the way our lives are going, because it's like, it's easy to get caught up in the familiar and what's happening, but it's not so easy to turn your ball around and go downhill. But when you realize the implications of it, you realize the actual science of it, you start to realize, why am I continuing to push up negative events, push up my snowball, and it's getting bigger and heavier? Why don't I just turn the other way, do something good, do something productive, whatever that is for you, whatever makes you feel good in you, and start rolling the other way? Because life can be hard for all of us, but it could also be easier based on your perspective and your attitude on life, and which way you choose to roll your snowball. So with that being said, man, pay attention to your momentum and which way you rolling. I appreciate y'all for listening. I love y'all, and we out. Let's get it. Let's go unlimited.